Well, back to Bath now, and our top story. There have been a series of explosions at the Southgate development in Bath. A crane driver was injured as he tried to evacuate the area, but there are no reports of any other casualties.
I think we can show you some pictures that were picked up by a passerby earlier on. Now, the fire crews were called just after 5 p.m. after a series of 3 explosions at the Southgate development. The whole area has since been cordoned off, the reason being as a threat of gas cylinders potentially exploding as well. The area's been cordoned off. It will be closed for some time. Henry Street and Southgate Street here in Bath have both been evacuated. The good news, though, thankfully, is that no one has been injured, but there has been a fair bit of disruption to traffic here in Bath this evening. And of course the rail station just down the road from where I'm speaking to you now has been closed. There are no trains coming in and out of Bath at the moment. It's not quite clear how long the area will be cordoned off for. It could be up to a couple of hours, we're told. The message to people who are in their homes this evening here in Bath is that they should stay inside. But we'll have more for you on this later on the West Tonight this evening.
Tim, now, Dom, what's the latest?
Well, Steve, Bath is a city in disruption this evening. As you can see behind me, this road is closed. This is Pierpont Street, one of several in the area that are closed as firefighters continue to fight the blaze at Southgate Shopping Centre. Joining me now is David King, someone who eyewitnessed the fire. David, in your own words, in your own time, take me through what exactly you saw.
Well, I was working on the computer in my flat, and I heard...
I think we're just going to have to step away a minute. We'll just step away.
Sorry, yes.
Carry on.
I heard a fire alarm sound and voices from the workmen in the development where they're building the new Southgate Centre, saying, "Oh, I think there's going to be a big bang in a minute." So I grabbed the video camera and I started filming. And then the fire, which was on the second floor of the Phase 2 building, grew larger, and there was a series of explosions as I presume, gas canisters exploded.
I think we're actually looking at some of the pictures that you shot now. It must have been terrifying. Take us through what was going through your mind when you were doing this.
Well, I was thinking, I think that's far enough away that I'm not actually in any immediate danger, but I was concentrating on getting as steady a shot as I could. And I was adrenaline, basically. I wasn't really thinking.
David King, thank you very much for your time.
Right.
Thanks for supplying us with the footage as well. As I said this evening, we'll have more later on in the programme for you, but Bath is in a situation of chaos tonight as roads are closed, and I've just recently heard as well that the train station is closed as well. So there are no trains coming in or out of Bath, and there is traffic chaos pretty much everywhere here. But we'll have more for you on this later on in our programme.
Dominic, thank you very much indeed. That Southgate development, just so that you know, is part of a £350 million regeneration scheme, and it will, well, hopefully see 58 shops, 8 cafes, bars, restaurants, and over 700 car park spaces. So it's a great shame that has happened today. More on that as we get.
Yeah, we're looking at pictures now that we're just receiving on the West Tonight, and the flames, as you described them earlier, pretty fierce, shooting out of the roof.
Yeah, very much so. As I said, it was very much like an oil rig fire, but there was at least 2 explosions that came from it, so it was obviously ignited by some sort of, I don't know, gas or oxyacetylene equipment, I would have thought.
Good evening.
Hello, this is The West Tonight. The headlines this evening. Bath's brought to a standstill as fire hits the city's new Southgate shopping development. Hello, good evening. There's chaos in Bath city centre tonight after a fire in the Southgate shopping development. A series of explosions left a cloud of black smoke over a wide area. Roads are closed and some residents who can't return to their homes are having to spend the night in a temporary rest centre. Dominic Velitis reports.
At first there was fire, and then, as gas canisters succumbed to the heat, there were explosions. Extraordinary scenes in the centre of Bath this evening, and ones captured on camera. It's believed a bitumen burner on the roof of the new Southgate development may have got out of control and ignited nearby gas canisters. All this in the heart of the Georgian city of Bath, when many would have been leaving work for the day.
I think it was for the people clearly in Bath that were here at the time. It's a fairly dramatic fire, a lot of black smoke, the cylinders were exploding.
Does it surprise you that no one was injured in this?
There was clearly a serious potential for someone to be injured by the immediate explosion.
Within minutes of the emergency services turning up, roads were closed off. Both nearby Henry Street and Southgate Street were evacuated as an exclusion zone was.
What's been the reaction from people at the moment?
As you can imagine, I mean, the whole of this end of the city has come to a standstill. People have been watching, lots of people heard and saw what happened. These are just some of the eyewitnesses that we spoke to.
We were just in the store and didn't really know. Somebody came from outside and just said that there was a massive explosion and flames coming through the centre of the building where the building work was.
It's really frightening, really frightening. We were in the middle of cashing up and then suddenly there was a massive explosion.
Yeah, we stood right next to McDonald's and then we was just running and then the whole building collapsed.
Train station has since reopened, but only to pedestrians. Thankfully, no one was injured in today's fire. Police are not treating it as a criminal incident. Tonight, though, firefighters are still on the scene and the caution remains. For those who are cut off from their houses, home tonight will be a rest centre set up by the authorities. Dominic Velitis in Bath for the West Tonight.
Well, now we leave you tonight with pictures, many of which have come from our viewers, of the big fire at Bath Southgate shopping centre. One crane driver has been hurt as he tried to evacuate the area, but there are no other reports of any other casualties.
Tonight, fire crews have advised police that while the fire is coming under control, the cordon will need to remain in place for some time while the risk of explosion from the gas cylinders on site is assessed. People living close to the site have been asked to stay inside and keep their windows closed as a precaution. A week ago tonight, we were bringing you the dramatic news of the large fire and those explosions in the heart of the £360 million Southgate development in Bath. Well, thankfully, nobody was injured. 7 days on, our Bath reporter Ali Vowles, who was on the scene within minutes, has been to have an exclusive look at the damage.
The explosions happened just before 5 o'clock a week ago. It's hard to believe, looking at the pictures, that nobody was hurt. Plumes of thick black smoke from 3 exploding gas canisters, sending up huge fireballs. Today you have to look pretty hard to see where the fire started. It's obviously been cleared up, but the damage is still relatively slight.
Well, we're up on this flat roof area where the fire started. The burner was here, where this green skip is. Whatever happened, we don't know, because the investigation is still underway, but it caught fire. There was asphalt all on the surface of the floor, and over here in this area, that's where the gas canisters were, and it was when they caught alight that we saw the dramatic smoke and fire that plumed out over Bath.
Luckily, just 3 or 4 men were working on this flat roof, and it was the foreman's prompt action that led to all 350 men being evacuated from Southgate. The result of the official investigation is likely to take a few more weeks, but the memory of the Southgate explosions will live on for a lot longer. Ali Vowles, BBC Points West, Bath.